Hey, good morning, Guyanese. So, the thoughts of men that we're going to give our votes to and what they will do after we give them our votes, how do we know, what is going to really happen? Because whatever is going to happen is going to happen based on the way they think. Now, I'm saying that the 2025 election, there are men and women, and there's good and evil. What I'm saying is that the good and the evil is what makes up their character. So we probably should be looking at what these people, and that is why they try to tarnish. You notice politicians try to tarnish each other's character, right? And most of them, a lot of them, actually hide their true character from the nation. Like, I wouldn't understand why sitting president, the vice president would not have the nation know that he has a family, kind of a thing. So that to me sounds a little bit devious, but I'm not getting there. I'm just trying to say that the war that is happening or going to happen and is presently happening has to do with the thought processes of the people. And when we learn about the thoughts of the person, then we recognize that there's something called character. And the next word is characteristics. Now, character is a set of thoughts that came to you, both good and evil, and you have chosen one path. You've chosen to do the right thing on one side, and like the devil here on one side and God on the other side. Those little things there, right in front of me. So, and as we notice, we're seeing them, they both have nice books in front of them. They're probably reading the Bible too, and the Quran and the Gita and whatever. They're doing good, both of them. So they're probably reading from the same books. But we have to judge them based on their character, based on what we know. And if anybody else, I'd like to see in the comments, how do we manage? How are we able to know what are the real characteristics of these leaders that are coming for us? And the way I see it, the leaders I'm thinking about is, we have Bar Jagdeo, who is going to be the next president, along with his puppet, of course. And Bar Jagdeo, by the way, has been president of Guyana since, I think, 2005, thereabouts, somewhere thereabouts. He's been there for a long time. And he's done what he's done. And then there's Aubrey Norton, the PNC candidate. Characters. So, whatever is the outcome or whatever we get out of this is based on who these people are. And we need to recognize what they say also. And then we have T. Mohammed, Azruddin Mohammed, and we have VPAC team. VPAC is a team that I really appreciate. But I think I would have actually, I'm saying this publicly on camera, I would have loved for there to be a coordination or a merger between Team Mohammed and the VPAC team. What is it? Forward Guyana, right? I'm sorry. It's Forward Guyana. It's VPAC and quite a few other people there, but they're all sensible people, and you know, and but God gives us who we want, or does He not? But anyways, all I'm trying to say here is that let's look at some good characteristics. And I'm saying here that this is a spiritual warfare. It's not a warfare where people fight with their fists and they want a piece of land, kind of a thing, and they're fighting each other. No. It's a war of perception. It's a war where what people think is important. And then it's our nation, the entire set of people. So basically these guys, everybody here in this war wants to spend your money. And you're very wealthy, Guyanese. For example, when they throw $100,000 at you or 200,000, whatever, it's your money. Never think that it's the president's money. The president never give anybody money. He's a miser. But you don't know that. The only person that I think gives money, who can afford it, of course, in Guyana is Mohammed. But not your PNC and PPP people. They only steal your money. That's all they're about. Stealing your money. So I'm going to take this time off to look at some spiritual characteristics. The things that really make up the minds of men. And women, of course. Let's look at some. So it is spiritual, not because it is, that's a word that is overused, like the word love. Spiritual has been abused and overused. Spiritual has to do with things that are real but cannot be seen. They are real, they affect you in a real manner, but you cannot see them. You can perceive them through the ability that God gave us to understand, but they're things you cannot see. I remember in the Bible it says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness in high places. And the thing that comes to mind directly is what a lot of people have been claiming. It's a sacrifice, a ritualistic sacrifice of a young girl, and they're pointing fingers at our present government and its government structures. Spiritual wickedness in high places. Let's look at the characteristics now. So if a man comes around and he is angry, he's angry about a lot of things. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Bad thing, right? It's because he has been unable to cultivate the spiritual characteristic of empathy, of appreciating the other guy, of patience, of that kind of a thing. So I'm going to outline here a set of spiritual characteristics. And remember, spiritual doesn't have to deal with God, because the devil also is spiritual. And I'm going to bring us back. This war here right now, this elections, I'm telling you, it's serious. It's dead serious. And Guyanese, we need to take this seriously. And I'm going to remind us that the Bible, we have read the Bible over and over, and we try to say that religion is different from politics. Religion has never been different from politics. Religion is all about politics. Religion is God intervening on behalf of the masses, of people. God intervening to save people. That is what all the religious books are all about. Look at the Bhagavad Gita, for example. A war between good and evil was right there. In God had one good man, who was Arjuna. But God had to come himself. And that was Krishna. And he had to come in the form of a man. And he had to say, here's what. Those men that you're seeing there, that looks like you, your flesh and blood. And right now I'm thinking Indian people. Those men that look like you and they're your flesh and blood. And they have been your family. What did Krishna tell Arjuna? You can kill those people. I'm not telling anybody here to kill. Those days are over. But you can get rid of those people because they have been perpetually doing evil. They have been taking away from you for themselves over an extended period of time. Good over evil. The people in that city, they were impoverished, they were struggling, they were injustice. It's not a spiritual term. You don't see injustice. It comes to your heart. I am going to do this even though I know it is wrong, because it is what I feel comfortable with, or it's what benefits me in a material way, which is evil. Injustice. Injustice was meted out to those people there. And like I said again, all I'm trying to say here is that it take a God. It took Krishna in those days to chariot or pilot Arjuna in that war. In the Indians that are listening and the people who wants to read that story, it's the Bhagavad Gita. And it's available all over the place. It's a beautiful story. It's a story of salvation. It's a story of where God came to save a nation. A nation. And your nation, Guyanese, needs to be saved. Our nation needs to be saved. And it's important for salvation to happen to that nation. I'm telling you. Let's look at the Christian Bible. A lot of us, why I'm saying this is because mostly all of us have affinity. A majority of us in Guyana have affinity to those two stories. Let's look at the David against Goliath. What was happening there? It was war against the Philistines. War. Let's look at Ahab and Elijah. Let's see a simpler story in the Bible. So it's going to be like David and Saul. David and Saul. That's a beautiful story. God the people wanted Saul. He was tall, he was handsome, he spoke wisely. Not wisely, he just spoke strongly. Yeah, he was good for the people. But he wasn't good for God. Because God, there's a consciousness on this planet that knows everything that happens, will happen, had happened, and why it does. And so God knew that that guy there, Saul, wasn't good for the people. And he prepared a David. And that's a nice story. He prepared a David to go. And he prepared a David, you know when? He prepared a David for 20-something years before David became a king. David was a shepherd. He was a little nothing. His preparation happened here. He had faith, he had patience, he had empathy, he had love, he had hope, he had humility, he was mindful, he was resilient. I remember him saying that when a bear and a whatever came to take my flock, I fought them and I won. He was strong, but he was humble. When he came to fight Goliath, I remember that story, he wasn't worried about Goliath. He was worried about the evil things that are transpiring on a spiritual level that the rest of people couldn't see. David was a God man. So let's hope this time around we get a David in the camp. And let's look now again. Let's look at some of the characteristics that we can use to judge. Because there's only two things on this planet. There's us, the physical person, and then there's good and evil on both sides. That's all there is. There isn't anything else. Good and evil. And if we want a nation that is going to prosper, that is going to instill greatness in our future. Greatness is not a ton of buildings. If you go across to Venezuela, you'd see beautiful, beautiful, beautiful buildings and well-made and everything, and roads and everything. What crumbled Venezuela with all their oil resources? Evil, greed, selfishness. Those are the things that crumbled it. And Guyanese, I'm asking you to start thinking at the next level. Look at your leaders. See if they're hateful. See the one that is hateful. See the ones that are revengeful. See the ones that are envious. See the ones that are greedy. They want your money. They want everything from you. See those people. See the ones that are arrogant. And when I say arrogant, I remember our dear President Ali one day, and I thought that was an epitome of arrogance. Somebody asked him about the Adriana Young story. And we all know it's a cover-up from both the president, the vice president, and they even hauled in the stupid minister of health. You know, that man is not stupid. But he stooped to evil. Those are good men. I know because I know. Me eat rice and curry, Bojan food for the 7th village with that guy 20-something years back. Those are good men, really good men. But your Barajagdeo, I made just adding this for emphasis, cannot have good men as leaders. He just needs puppets, men who would follow him. That's for you, Guyana. Let's look at, I want you to look at these good characteristics, these things that really make us, these things that really make people to be good. The spiritual characteristics, the things that happen within our mind, the thoughts that process here. Things like patience. Things like knowing that, you know what, I'm going to do everything right today that I have to do. In the future and God, and the right thing is going to happen the right time because I have patience. That is patience. Mindfulness, being concerned about people, not about myself first, the people first. And spirituality said we worship God first and then our fellow men. And I might say here that the only person, there are two people in this campaign thing that have billions of dollars that they can throw at your feet tomorrow. And one is your president and his president. and the other one is Azruddin Muhammad. I am asking you, have you ever seen Guyana, your president and his president, take their own resources and donate it to someone? Some poor person? Have you ever seen that? I haven't not. All I'm trying to say is, I've seen Muhammad did that. And I don't know Muhammad. I see him on camera just like how you see him on camera. I don't know the guy. I don't need to know him, but I can see that he has done good deeds. What about if Muhammad is our David coming to save us from Saul and Goliath? What about if? I can see him winning the elections, but I'm asking you, Guyanese, all of us, to look at the characteristics. You know, I've heard this guy speak things that a spiritual person would speak. He said he had hope. He said he had faith. He said something about God. And I can see in him empathy. I'm not celebrating the guy. I'm just saying factually what I'm seeing. I can see empathy. He looks at people. I saw him cry one day. Not cry like bitterly, but you can see it in his countenance. He felt aggrieved and sad when he saw situations where people are struggling. He understands human suffering. Is that something that we need to have, Guyanese? Is that something better than arrogance and lies? Lies. I have seen so much lies in politics that I don't know. And we all know here who is the principal liar in this country, who deceives us, and that kind of thing. Let's look at the negative characteristics of spirituality. Because we are spiritual beings. The gist of us, deep down inside of us, we're not this physical body. This is something that we use. We use. And the thing is this, the God within us is the thing that gives us free will. And that's the sad part of it. Free will. And the devil is here, and God is here. On both sides. And the devil instill in us anger, hate, jealousy. Let me just explain them a little bit. Hate. The strong desire to hurt someone. Have we seen that in politics? Have we seen how the PPP has been aggressively targeting the Muhammad guy? Hate. The strong desire to cause pain, grief, and hurt to someone else. What is the opposite of hate? Patience, faith, love. Those are positive characteristics. Hope. Those are positive characteristics. Let's look at greed. If you have a greedy person that is leading you, they will take for themselves and create around them. They would give to their friends, their buddies, their ministers, people, and everything around them. They create a wall around them. And it has nothing to do with you people. And you know why this elections is going to be lost by the PPP? You know why? Because the walls that they have created in their little communities have been lying to them. So you'd have, like, let's say Blackbush. I can tell you about Blackbush a little bit. I've been there. I know there. I developed that entire water users organization. Today, that water users organization, which was supposed to be independent, you know what it is today? That place is a puppet. And the people in it are PPP puppets that they feed with money from agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture. And I want to tell you this, Blackbush people, your representatives, they don't earn no $5,000 a month. Those people splurge on money. And I want you Blackbush people to ask yourselves, have you ever heard that organization being audited? They will burn that place to the ground if you try to audit it. And that goes for most all water users associations, because the PPP has a playbook that is the same. They take our money and they share it among their friends. That's the same. Their playbook is the same. And again, I'm saying we have to come to a place to recognize the good and the bad characteristics, the strong and the weak characteristics, resilience. I have seen resilience recently in that Mohammed guy too. And I'm not saying there are other people in that political arena that are not, have great characteristics. But these are things that I've been able to see. And again, I'm going to say I've looked over across the way and I've seen that entire team and I see some very soulful people in that team there. The Forward Guyana team. Really, really soulful people. People who mean well for Guyana. And Guyanese, I'm asking you. The PNC and the PPP, they play from the same playbook. They're going to steal your money every day. The people that deserve your votes today are the new parties, the smaller parties. Those are men and women that have seen the atrocities on both sides. Don't worry about the people that left PNC and go to PPP. Those are scavengers. They have done that because they want to eat up the resources that the PPP give to friends and families. They know that there's money over there. That's why they went there. They're not people. They're classless. They are classless people. You are joining something that you know has been stealing the resources of all Guyanese. And you go there for what? To steal. And I thank God that this country, we have men and women that have been able to sacrifice themselves. I see this guy from in the Forward Guyana movement, Nigel London. That's an ordinary man. But he has consciously put himself out there time and again, time and again. And I have always seen him saying the right things. The right things for Guyana. But would black people support him? They will. The ones that are conscious about good and evil. And the ones that don't understand the difference, the ones that don't want to think, they wouldn't. And these are the sad situations we have in Guyana. So Guyanese, I have to leave you. We can talk forever. So it's either good or evil. There's nothing else on this planet. There's a spiritual realm and it has good and evil. And we have to, in our own minds now, figure out which way we're going to go. Good, there's greatness. Evil, there's limitation, downfall, and demise. You know, I'm going to tell you something. Many years ago, when Chavez won the elections in Venezuela, I used to be overseer, I think. Yes, overseer, 5274. I told everybody that I knew, and the people that were around me then, remember this. I told them I'm giving Chavez 10 years to take Venezuela to the dogs. And I'm seeing Barrett right now using Chavez's strategy, distributing money to people like just to buy their compliance. And he did that. And we are in that hole today. Because they want you, the politicians want you to think that the money they're giving you, they're giving you. They don't give you shit. The only person in Guyana that ever give anybody anything is Mohammed. Nobody else. Your politicians don't give you anything. They take your money, and if they want to give you, they probably take a loan just to make you feel nice so you can put them in power to continue stealing your resources. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. And Guyanese, I love you very much. That's why I take time off from work to do these kind of things. I want to see the same kind of a Guyana that Chetty Jagan had. I know his thoughts. I know what he thought. Even Burnham had great thoughts, but he had power too, and that's what screwed him up. He had power. And he had power without consent. He rigged all the elections. And it was allowed because of the CIA, whatever and whatever. And when I look, we know that story. Let's don't go there. We know that story, how that happened. But I'm telling you this, your current government is not a Chetty's vision. It's a Barrett's vision. And Barrett and Chetty are diametrically different. I know we have this loyalty kind of thing. I'm going to do this and I'm going to be this, and I'm Indian, so I support Indian. I'm Hindu, I go to Hindu church, whatever it is. Just think. Just be honest with your own selves. That's all I'm asking. Sincerity from your own self. Take some time off. Fast, pray, do whatever you need to do. Ask your God for the right thing to do. Wherever He is, however you conceive Him to be. Because your destiny, 2025, is going to make the difference between Guyana becoming a Singapore or Guyana becoming a Venezuela. Guyana should have been a Singapore, but we had Burnham and now we have Barrett. We're heading for Venezuela. Be careful, Guyanese. Love you guys very much. And you can comment. Say anything you need to say. I've said what I have to say, and it's only fair that you say what you want to say. And thank you very much for all these guys watching and the people that will watch. This is my kind of thing. I'm trying to find the in-between, the place where truth lies. And it's very confusing because the noise, it's very loud. But I've been hearing Guyanese screaming. I've been hearing the little people on the ground screaming for years and years and years. And the people with power did not listen. They thought they could splurge money at you and make you, comply. Not gonna happen this time. Guyanese are far more conscious and aware. And that awareness and that consciousness came from one source. And that's your universal God. The same God that helped the cities way back in Israel and the cities all over the planet for always, for eternity. It's the same God that we depend on this day and age to bring us out of the doldrums. And I know you're saying, yes, Guyana is doing well. We have a bridge here and a road here and whatever. What percentage of your budget is loans? How much money do we make on a daily basis? Why are we taking a ton of debt? Because your government wants to impress you. And every big contract comes with big corruption. And the small ones, all you little contractors in Guyana, tell your neighbors and friends how much money you have to pay out. Tell them how broke you can be if you're not careful. Tell them how you have to cock the walk. Because somebody got to get paid. And you go broke down if you not cock the walk. If you not put weak concrete or less steel or whatever you do. Tell them. Tell your neighbors and friends so they know the truth about Guyana. And big contractors, maybe the ones that did that road there, Heroes Highway. Hey, why couldn't we have a seamless, beautiful road in Guyana? Heroes Highway. Why? It's simple. People in government had to be paid. So if you hear about a $20 billion contract, that doesn't go to the contract. It doesn't go to benefit the people of Guyana. A very great portion, sometimes up to 20% of that goes into the pockets of your leaders. Have you ever heard? All Guyanese know that Guyana is a corrupt country. There's corruption. There's embedded corruption. I don't want to talk about corruption now, but all I'm saying is, all of us know there is. Have you ever heard your government, your PPP government, or PNC government, ever, one day, one time, challenge corruption? No, I've never heard. What I heard is, they try to kill the guy that brings out levels of corruption, that speaks about corruption. And the first guy that spoke about corruption in Guyana, identified it, spoke about it, opened it up in front of the entire PPP administration and in the government systems, it was me, Joseph Bechu. That's who I am. And that was 30 years ago. 30? Maybe 25, 26 years ago. So, and your PPP government didn't understand corruption then. Chetty came out saying nip corruption in the bud. Bar Jagdeo tried to slaughter me in the process. I was a young PPP guy. I was doing good. As a matter of fact, if I wasn't doing so good, I remember Robert saying, Bechu, if you can help me with Burbies and PYO, I'm gonna give you anything you want in this country. I didn't know he was that powerful. I mean, I know he had contacts with Janet and all that then. But, so the things I'm telling you is what I know. I am an underdog. I'm not no special guy. But I'm a human being just like all of us. But I've been listening, I've been aware, and I've been conscious. And I've been trying as much as I can to live on the right side of things. Thank you very much, Guyanese. I have to go. I love you very much, and I hope we make the right decisions. God bless us. God bless Guyana. Thank you.